What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and welcome to this month's Cool Tech episode where we take a look at some great products from different categories that you should definitely check out that can either improve your lifestyle, maybe are a little bit interesting and appeal to your specific needs, and at the same time, also checking out some products that are in other categories that we don't necessarily always attribute to tech. So just taking a look at what we have here this month, we have some of like traditional tech products such as like smartphones, the Google Pixel 6, which has really proven itself to be a great value, as well as the OPPO Find N, which is more so on like the futuristic side of foldable phones. The Remarkable being a great note-taking focused device that is really good for anyone who is into journaling, as well as like a fun keyboard, a fitness band that I recently started wearing called the Whoop 4.0, as well as something that kind of ties into the last episode where we took a look at Taylormade's P790 irons, and in this month we have the brand new Taylormade Stealth Carboonwood driver, which is all new technology and an area that I'm really passionate about, and I feel like that's what makes this Cool Tech episode so fun. So as always, if you guys like to win an item from this video, just make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a thumbs up on this video, and also leave a comment down below with what your favorite item is, and we'll be picking a winner when this video hits 3,000 likes. And if you guys enjoy videos like this, let me know some other things that you want me to check out in future Cool Tech episodes, because I plan to do these a lot more regularly, and of course, there's gonna be a giveaway in each one. It seems like nowadays, a lot of people are talking about journaling and how it's become like a very important routine in their lifestyle to write things down each day, whether it's like specific goals and things that you might be thinking, things you're grateful for. And to be totally honest with you, I am definitely not one of those people. I don't really like doing that. I just keep whatever ideas in my head, I write it down on the computer. But I've been seeing a ton of ads on Instagram and Facebook of the Remarkable, and so I figured it would be something that is cool to play with because my friend recently picked one up. To be honest, whether it's like the iPad or the Remarkable, I would see all these different like commercials of people like writing, taking notes, doing some drawings and architectural stuff. And you look at that and think that you're able to draw and write exactly the same. And as soon as it comes, you start to write on it and you're like, it just doesn't look the same, and that is totally the case here, but it's more of my problem than the actual product. I think the biggest question is whether or not the Remarkable is something that you should get over an iPad. It is not exactly cheap, comes in at a price of about $399, but I feel like it does have a very specific focused purpose and does have some advantages if you're specifically looking to note take. First off, just look at it. It comes in at just 4.7 millimeters in thickness, which is extremely thin and a lot thinner than a traditional notebook. And on top of that, it has this pen that attaches to the side, and I really like the ergonomics of it. It has like a nice grip and a bit of a rough finish to it. And as soon as you open up this folio case right here, you can just start writing. It has like this e-ink display that has a very nice emulation of the paper texture. And I strongly believe that if you're gonna make a product that sets out to achieve one thing, all the details should be considered, and I would say that that definitely matches the criteria. Another thing that I also like is that there's Google Drive and also like Dropbox support. So they've implemented areas of like modern day technology and wireless connectivity with a note-taking method that kind of addresses the advantages and disadvantages of physical note-taking, which I do know a lot of people who still like to write things down manually. When it comes to how it is to write, you have like your different options for the pen and pencil, and you also have like different thickness settings. You can draw certain tools, but generally speaking, they do try to keep it very, very simple. And so it's one that I find interesting for like drawing different things out and ideas, but my handwriting is just not that good because in university, everything was on a laptop. In high school, it kind of transitioned that way as well. So I haven't really gotten in this note-taking thing for quite a while, but I think it is still something that is very fun. And if you're just looking for a nice like e-reader that also doubles as something that you can take all your notes on, then I feel like the price point for some could be justified. So another product that really embodies this Cool Tech series is the Osma Pro Cold Brew Machine. And this is able to do two different things. It not only looks incredible and it's very well designed, but it also allows you to make cold brew coffee in under 60 seconds, which is a very bold claim for something that traditionally takes a lot of time. So we're not only gonna talk about like the design story, but also demonstrate it for you and let you know how it actually tastes. So when it comes to like the backstory, this is designed by Joey Roth, who's an industrial designer, and if you guys have been watching his channel for many, many years, going way back, he designed these great ceramic speakers that just look unique, and he also did a collaboration with GroveMade, which we also featured on the channel in another desk setup video. So I just absolutely love the way that he designs products, not only from like a practical perspective, but just how good it looks. And this Osma Pro Edition 1 only has 1,000 units and it's numbered, so I thought that was a really cool touch. And it originally was kind of prototyped in a raw metal look, which I thought looked really good, but they actually sent over this one in machined matte black, and I've got to say, it just really fits in the whole theme of like The Office and the things that I like. So when it comes to making the coffee, I measured out just about like 26 to 27 grams. It definitely took a few times of trial and error. And when it comes to the actual grounds, they recommend about 200 to 300 microns. On the Encore grinder, it is about an 8 in its setting. After weighing out the grounds, I used the included tamper, and now we're ready to actually brew the cold brew. So the tech behind how the Osma is able to make cold brew almost instantly compared to what is traditionally an 8 to 12 hour process is through the acoustic cavitation technology. The diaphragm pump is optimized to deliver oscillating water pressure to the coffee in the portafilter, which is actually a standard 58mm one. And the actual pressure oscillation causes bubble nuclei in the coffee and water to expand and contract in sync with the pump's frequency. As the bubble nuclei grows towards a resonant size, they expand and contract, and the oscillating bubble boundaries exert shearing forces against the ground coffee bean particles, and that extract is what is able to give you a really nice, strong taste as well as the crema. But enough of the nerd talk. As someone who likes coffee, how does it actually taste? Because if it doesn't actually work, then all this technology and design is essentially useless from a practical standpoint. And honestly, after trying a few coffee machines this year that looked really good and didn't really taste that good, this one I can tell you tastes absolutely incredible. And as someone who actually really likes iced coffee and goes for a cold brew pretty much every single day, this is definitely something that I would drink. I just really like how simple it is, because honestly, I'm not that good at using a coffee machine. And even though we use like these crazy cameras that have a ton of buttons and like color grading panels, I just really like how the coffee machine is literally one button and it's able to do its job very well. So in the last Cool Tech episode, I showed you guys the P790 irons from Taylormade and the custom process behind the fitting, and you guys seem to really like the integration of sport in this series. This box just showed up from Taylormade and is their new revolutionary stealth Carboonwood line of drivers for 2022. So in this unboxing experience, the motto is "Welcome to the Carboonwood Age." And for the last 20 years, titanium was kind of all the rage when it came to drivers, but Taylormade believes that carbon is the future, and the new face of this stealth driver has a 60-layer carbon sheet that is strategically arranged to give you better energy transfer and also faster ball speeds across a large area of the face. Not only was it an absolute eye candy to film, and I hope you guys enjoy this B-roll and all the little details as much as I do, but there's also the weight system that has been returned that allows you to adjust based on like a fade or a draw. And with the previous flagship Sim 2 driver that I was fitted with, I went with the max draw model. So being able to adjust it is definitely cool, but I actually have it set to draw right out of the box. And so this video, I just wanted to go ahead and unbox it, show you guys the new Taylormade Stealth Carboonwood driver, and I'm going to take this out to the course and range as soon as possible and let you guys know what I think about it, because a lot of my friends who are really into golf are curious and extremely excited about this new release and revolutionary direction. So this next product here is the OPPO Find N foldable smartphone. And there's been a lot of talk about foldable phones in the past few years and when Apple's going to do it. And even though like some of the early models have been really cool, there has been a few kinks or trade-offs that are going to be improved over the future. And after trying out like the Galaxy Fold first generation and seeing like the Z Flip and how popular that is, I feel like the OPPO Find N is the folding phone that pretty much eliminates some of the most common compromises. And one of that is the crease in the middle. This right here does use an LTPO display that is made by Samsung. It's 7.1 inches in size and overall looks really good. But the best part about it is that when you take a look at the screen itself, folded flat, you can really almost cannot see any crease in the middle. It just doesn't have like that visible bend there. Obviously, if you look at it at a very specific angle, there is still going to be one, and that is always going to be the case. But especially if you're watching content throughout both screens, or even having it in this really cool angle here. I think that is something that OPPO has absolutely nailed. And on top of that, when you flip it over here, you still have like a pretty well-sized front display where you can just use your phone like a regular one, and due to its form factor and the way they've kind of balanced it out, it is still very comfortable from an ergonomic standpoint. I also really like this soft touch black finish on the back. I know it does come in a few different colors, but I think if you are planning to get one, this is definitely the finish to go with. And it does come in at a steep price point of like $1,650, but I believe that if I was to get a folding phone right now, the OPPO Find N is the one that I would choose. Some of the characteristics include 120 Hz refresh rate, as well as HDR10 Plus and 1000 nits of peak brightness. And it is powered by the Snapdragon 888 processor with the octa-core CPU and Adreno 660 GPU, so it has all the great specs paired with up to 12 gigabytes of RAM. It does have a triple camera setup on the back, but what I really wanted to talk about here in the Cooltech at least was the display technology and just how well designed OPPO did this. So another product category that has also seen a huge breakthrough in the past couple years, especially from a value standpoint, is robot vacuums. And especially when it comes to like smartphones and also truly wireless earbuds with noise cancellation, the better options on the market are becoming a lot more affordable, and a lot of the premium features are being found in lower priced offerings. The value is kind of the key word towards that, and that is definitely evident in this industry as well. In front of me, I have the Trifo Lucy Robot Vacuum, and I want to give a huge thanks to Trifo for sponsoring this video. And this right here looks like a typical robot vacuum, but it comes in at a price of under $600 and has a lot of premium features and software combined with its hardware and cameras to bring you the ultimate experience at a relatively like median price point. It's definitely not the cheapest one on the market, but for the features that it is able to offer, it definitely does punch above its weight class. So just looking at the hardware here, you can see it has like a nice gloss back finish and some gold trim as well, but it does also have a 1080p HDR camera that is built in that you can live stream directly from your smartphone and manually control it. The time of flight depth camera offers a depth slam solution by providing additional depth info for depth mapping capabilities. But I think what is most practically useful is that the Lucy is able to detect 70 objects around the house from 1 inches in size and up, which typically like vacuums with a LiDAR sensor is only able to detect objects that are 4 inches and larger. And I think this feature in particular really does address one of the biggest issues that I typically have with robot vacuums, and that is the fact that they get stuck everywhere. I'm definitely one that has a lot of things like around the house. I'm really trying to work on that, but with this being able to detect objects such as like slippers, wires, shoes, especially power cords, as well as like floors and carpet transitions, really do bring a feature set that a lot of robot vacuums lack. The Lucy is also able to recognize and divide rooms through an interactive experience, and with the advanced 6-core ARM SoC, it really does push a limit of accuracy when it brings AI to reality. So through the accurate map, you're able to draw very specific lines of rooms that you wanted to clean in one time and rooms to avoid. So for example, if I'm in like the home office and doing some work, I don't really want this robot vacuum just like traveling around and making noise, and instead it can focus on the living room, and when I'm away from the house, I can direct it to go back and clean that room. When it comes to the actual power itself, it has a 3000 PA power suction, and the 5200 milliamp hour battery keeps a runtime of up to 2 hours, which is pretty solid, and it's able to return to its home base by itself. The Lucy is also compatible with both Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant, so if you want to say Alexa, turn on Lucy, or hey Google, turn on Lucy, it will actually start cleaning, and you can actually tell it to turn off as well, which brings a cool element of home automation that can tie into the rest of the system that you have at home. So when it comes to like the hardware standpoint, you do have the 1080p HDR camera that is pretty good in low light, as well as the time of flight sensor that is able to give the 3D depth imaging, paired with the 6-core ARM SoC and the software that is all built in to really take advantage of all the hardware that is given. Everything is all very easy to control via the app, and it does bring a pretty complete experience that ties everything together in one robot vacuum that comes in at a pretty like good value price point in my opinion. Through the software built in and the ability to learn, this robot vacuum also gets smarter over time as you continue to use it, and there's also over-the-air updates that bring improvements each month. So if you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, I'm going to leave a link down below to the Trifo Lucy robot vacuum, and I want to give a huge thanks to them once again for sponsoring this video. So unfortunately, we didn't physically attend CES this year, and it seems like every year there's kind of like a trend of products that really set the tone for 2022. And I would say this year it was a little bit mixed. There was some car technology, there were some cool displays from Samsung, there's some great TVs out there and like launches from TCL. OLED technology from Sony has also seen a really nice breakthrough, but a product that I feel like was pretty hyped and relatively popular based on the videos on the internet was the Samsung Freestyle. And this is something that we did do a full review on the channel of, so if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to drop a link down below. But I think the reason why it has gathered a lot of interest isn't because of the fact that it's a projector, but it's the form factor and the use applications of it. We've seen a ton of portable projectors in the past few years, ones that are able to sit on the table, you can bring with you, they have great speakers, but the reason why the Freestyle is special is because it comes in at a super light weight. It's essentially lighter than like a backup battery essentially, and in just like this cylindrical shape and the cover that it includes, you can take this anywhere and you can also move it anywhere around your house and it'll be able to project an image up to about 100 inches with an optimal of about 70 inches. So say I'm at like the bedside table and want to be able to watch like a movie or something, you can just put that there, angle it towards the middle, and it has the auto keystone and auto focus, but it also has built-in speakers that kind of have like the 360 effect, even though it is only at about 5 watts of power. There are also some pretty cool accessories and applications such as like the bulb socket. So say you have like a dining table light and it just has like the typical screw on, you can actually power this projector that way and project an image down to like a table and connect something like your computer or smartphone to it to be able to enjoy in that medium. It is like a very specific use, but it does seem like due to its like portability, it's going to be a very popular product for millennials out there. But some of the technical drawbacks include the lack of a backup battery in order to save the weight, but there is an accessory that you can go ahead and buy that allows you to have that power ability without having to have an outlet nearby. But I do believe the most popular and effective use by far is something like a bedroom or like a home office where you can use it as a projector. It isn't too intrusive, it's really small, but when you're not using it as a projector, you can just pop on the prism cover and use it as like an accent light, reading light, or glow light. So nowadays there are so many health tracking products and apps out there, and it's almost like overwhelming for some consumers to figure out which ones are effective for their specific lifestyle, because at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. And just to kind of give like a description of like the point where I would want to use a health tracking product, it is usually down to like efficiency and the amount of energy that I have in a given day to be able to work as much as possible. I'm definitely not someone who like has a very strict workout routine or exercise routine that I do every single day, but I do try to get out there once in a while, and I do feel like sleep tracking is a pretty important aspect when it comes to overall health. And one product that I've seen like my personal trainer and also some friends have is the Whoop Band. And what this is it's able to give you like a strain score based on the activity during the day and also allow you to log that, but it also has a really good sleep tracking mechanism that is able to kind of determine how effective your sleep is and how recharged you are for the next day in order to kind of control the strain that you put on. So the newest model is the Whoop 4.0, which I actually have right now, and you can either wear it on your wrist or on your bicep. And the reason why I wear it on my bicep is just because I typically do wear a watch and I wasn't planning to completely replace that. But on the bicep, even though it did take a few days to get used to, I really don't notice it there at all after having it on. Some of the key metrics that the Whoop 4.0 tracks include heart rate, resting heart rate variability, skin temperature, and blood oxygen levels. And it gives you all these data points individually, but also utilizes that with its algorithm to give you feedback based on your strain, recovery, and also sleep information. So just go into the app here and show you guys some of the information and feedback that it is giving me. It takes like about a week to calibrate, and it'll continue to utilize all the new information as you start to wear it for months to give you the information that is most accurate to your current lifestyle and also the data reads that it's getting from those different metrics. So just taking a look at it, there's 4 different tabs. There is the overview, the strain, the recovery, and the sleep. And you can see like a typical day strain on a day that I'm not exercising at all is maybe about 4, even though I am working the entire day. And on top of that, the recovery is what I would say is the most useful metric because it tells you whether you maybe need a little bit more sleep on a given day, and it lets you know when you should go to sleep to be able to reach like an optimal window of the energy that you have the next day. But it also gives you information specific to time in bed, and you'll scroll down and it shows different stages of like awake, light, REM sleep, and also deep sleep. And I would say that I do get a pretty good amount of sleep just because I don't really wake up that much. I typically do hit an efficiency of like 80 to 90%, which I feel like is pretty solid. I think especially in the new year, it's really good to build these new habits, and there's just so many tools out there nowadays. There's the Oura Ring that is able to go on the hand, and I think what's really interesting about this fitness industry is that there are more products nowadays that follow different ergonomics and form factors to be able to be as seamless in your lifestyle as possible while giving you useful information, and the Whoop Band is definitely one of them. So in these cool tech episodes, I also like to maybe throw in some products that I think are cool to like a certain demographic, but may not appeal to everyone out there. And this is something that showed up in the office last year, and some people love it and some people hate it, and that is a Logitech Pop keyboard. It just like obviously goes by its name. It's a mechanical wireless keyboard made by Logitech, who are pioneers in this industry, but at the same time just has fun colors, and you also have customizable emoji keys on the right side. I'm still trying to decide if this is something that I would personally put in a desk setup, but I do know a lot of people like to keep their desk setup nice and fun or color coordinated, and if yellow is your color, then I think this actually looks pretty good. And on top of that, it is really nice to type on as well. And from like an actual keyboard experience standpoint, which is like the most important thing, it is very, very nice to type on. You do get that like nice tactile feedback with the mechanical keys, and it's also relatively easy to clean because nothing will really get stuck there. Just go ahead and shake it off or vacuum it off. But yeah, I would say it looks pretty cool if you're into this stuff, and you can also go ahead and grab a matching mouse as well, but I would probably recommend you go ahead and grab something like the MX Master or the MX Anywhere because functionally and ergonomically it is a lot better. So if you guys have been watching the channel, especially in the last year, you might notice that there has been a huge focus on home theater. Whether it is an 83-inch top-of-the-line Sony OLED TV or a couple short-throw projectors, laser TVs, and also standard projectors, there's been a ton of progression in this field at different price points, and so I just love covering this stuff. I watch a ton of sports, I also just like have friends over to watch that, and I also like to play video games as well, so naturally this is a category that I love to showcase on the channel. One big issue with the projectors though is with the number of them that are coming in, I have to move the TV, shuffle the space around, and that does prove to be a bit of an issue, especially if I want to get the best experience possible, and that is with an ambient light rejecting screen that is especially important for short throw projectors. This right here is actually a product that I came across after watching a Soldier Knows Best video, and it is the Vividstorm S Pro Electric Tension Floor Screen. And what this is able to do, as you can see in the intro, is that I can literally press a button, it is all rolled up, and it will expand into a full size. You can get it in a size from 72 inches all the way up to 120 inches, which is 10 feet, and the one that I have right here is 110 inches. Although short throw laser TVs are really nice because they're able to save space, they can be close to the wall, you don't have to like rearrange them every single time. One of the things that they definitely do benefit from is that ambient light rejection. It is able to cut out the light that is coming from like external directions, and as you can see in this daytime scenario here, it is able to give you a really nice image that has plenty of contrast and good color reproduction, which you won't really get from just firing it off into a blank white wall. From doing my research and also having other ambient light rejecting screens, Vividstorm is one of the few companies that makes an ALR display that is able to roll up either in like a hanging form or one that comes up from the ground, and I think that is super cool. Whether you have it like hiding behind a piece of furniture, which I feel like is really cool application, or just have it on the floor, bring it outside, or take it with you if you need to. The best part about this is I can really keep it out of the way if I don't want to see it. With just like the press of the button using the remote control that is included, it is able to expand very quickly, and it seems very, very steady, which is awesome. So I definitely plan to use this a lot, especially with the home theater videos that we typically have done in the last year. They also make a model that has like perforations, so you can have like a 3D surround sound experience by having a soundbar behind it. And they also have specific models that are made for like short throw projectors and laser TVs, as well as standard projectors, so you just have to pick accordingly depending on the setup that you have. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this cool tech episode, and as always, I'm gonna try to link as many products down in the description section below. But if you enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.